राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदिगौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। स्पोर्ट क्लब व्हाइट फील्ड के क्षेत्र में और इन दिस प्लेस यू आर ऑल वेलकम फॉर Sunday's special Srimad Bhagvatam class. We are discussing Bhagwatam from first canto of Srimad Bhagvatam and chapter 2, Divinity and Divine Service. And we relish today at least verse 8 to 11. And these 8 to 11, 4 verses discuss occupational duty and Krishna consciousness. So this section discusses occupational duties and Krishna consciousness. And after, say, 12 verse to 25, this is the process of devotional service. How to practice devotional service. So that section is separate section. So we have this section, occupational duties, which means varnashram dharma. Varnashram dharma is called occupational duties. And Krishna consciousness, how varnashram can be applied to practice Krishna consciousness. That is the message actually. Now to understand, this morning we have spoken on the same first verse, only 8. So today we'll complete 8, 9, 10 and 11. And you have told me, I think, to complete 12, 13 and 14, 15, something like that, right? Yeah. Anyway, this very lengthy purport, somewhere commentaries are so exhaustive and extensive actually. So let's see how much we can complete. Now, the subject matter discussed is like this. there is a word called parodharma. This is the answer to the first question of sages of Naimisharanya. What is the first question they asked sages of the Naimisharanya? Shreya, Atyantik Shreya, ultimate benefit for humanity. An answer to that is given in this second chapter, verse number 5. Bring the verse number 5. I think it's verse number 5. You see if I'm certain if that is the verse number 5 or 7, 5 or 7. What's the verse number 5? No. Then go to the 7. This is the answer to the second. So go to the 6. This is the answer to the second question. This is the verse. This is the answer to the first question. Ultimate benefit of Atyantik Shreya is Savai Puncham Parodharmo. So our topic today is a Varna Ashram Dharma leading us to Parodharma or not? Because ultimate benefit is Parodharma. So what is Parodharma? First, if we will understand that, what is Param Dharma or Param Parodharma? In second verse of Bhagwatam, first chapter, Mangalacharana. Anybody remember? Dharmaha projita kaitava nirmatsaranam satam. There's a word param somewhere. Read again. Dharmaha projita kaitavo paramo. Paramo. Paramo word is there also. It means only param dharma is in Bhagwatam and other dharmas are taken out. Projita means taken out. Parodharma or param dharma is subject of Bhagwatam. So what are the other dharmas which are taken out of the Bhagwatam? The dharma of the karma is to go to heaven for enjoyment. Is not glorified in Bhagwatam as param dharma, because it's temporary. The second dharma is of the Jnanis, merging in the Brahma. This is also not param dharma. This is Sayajya Mukti, which is rejected by devotees. Then there are 4 types of more muktis of going to Vaikuntha, Sarupya, Salokya, Samipya, Sarishti. Diyamana na grahanti. Bhagavatam says, I am giving, they are not accepting. So it is not parodharma also. Then what is param dharma? Devrishi Narad says param dharma is gopis pure, crystal clear love for Krishna is parodharma. So param dharma or parodharma is Krishna prema. Now, is Varna Ashram actually, if we practice properly, does it awaken love of God? That is a question. So now let us read this verse and see how we can apply this, okay? Is it clear? What is param dharma? And any practice or any sadhana, if it is not pointing towards the goal of love of God, it is not parodharma. It's not parodharma. This is a special B has come here. Oh, Krishna. No, it will not go. How can it go? You. Huh? Flower. Where is B? Keep it here. Okay, this is going here. Let's see. Put it here. And the bee is happy with here. Hare Krishna. Chiffon flower? Hare Krishna. So, she's trying to understand what is Parodharma. So, Parodharma is not in garland. Welcome. So, let's read now this verse. Dharamaha swanustishta punsam Vishwakshena katha suya Nopapadyay tayadi rattim Charma eva hi kevalam. Now, in this verse, Nopapadyate yadi rattim. Rattim is Parodharma. Rattim means love of God. Rati, in Rupa Goswami's explanation, is Bhava Bhakti. Rati is called Bhava Bhakti. Rati actually in a ordinary language is a attachment or attraction between young boy and girl. Is called Rati. Srila Prabhupada's word for Rati is attraction, which actually means Bhava Bhakti, which is already there. Upadyate means to produce, means it is there. You have to awaken that. If the process of sadhana is not awakening the prema bhakti, charam eva hi kevalam, it's simply fruitless labor. And yadi word here, which means Chakravarti Pad writes, first stated, I have worked so much, I have not yet got prem, Krishna prem. So he is disgusted. Yadi here means disgusted or doubt. I am practicing, I am not getting the result. So what I am practicing? Dharamaha swa anutishta. Swa means person, oneself. Anutishta means situated. Which dharma, which is according to one's own occupation. Therefore it is called varnashram dharma. Dharma swanustishta means varnashram dharma. Swa anutishta. Swa means person. So here we have to understand one more statement. Swadharma, it means swadharma. Right. Swadharma, right? And there are two types of swadharma. Anybody has an idea what are the two types of swadharma? Material duties and spiritual duties. One explanation is good. What are the two types of swadharma? Material duties are?
Bondage to bondage.
No, what are the material duties? Swadharma of body. Swadharma of body, which is varnashram. And the swadharma of the soul, which is spiritual. So this varna ashram is only if the activities of the body is useless. If it is not practicing the need of the soul. Because Srila Prabhupada's purport is only focusing on the need of the soul. Is neglected by modern civilization. This is the key point of the whole purport is needs of the souls are neglected, are unknown to the public. And that is Parodharma. Parodharma is the needs of the soul. Now, dharma anustishta punsha means human being. Okay? Prabhupada writes humankind. Can you see word to word meaning? Punsha means humankind. Means human beings. Like mankind. So mankind, if practicing only his occupational duties, Vishwakeshena kathaya. Now, Vishwakshena, Vishwakshena. Anyway, this Prabhupada writes Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he writes into bracket plenary portion. Can you see this? So what is actually, I don't know. I can see because there's a Vishwa word is there, right? Vishwa means this world. And Kshena, I don't know this is really meaning of or not, but this morning I think Akshena means one who glances on the material world. But creation begins by the glancing of the Vishnu, and this Vishnu is plenary portion. And all the incarnations are coming from this Vishnu. And all the incarnations are coming, they are performing some pastime. And that is called Katha. They give some message. See the word to word meaning for Katha? Message of the Supreme Lord. Like Krishna appeared. What is his message? Bhagwat Gita. Vyasadeva appeared. What is his message? Bhagwatam. So this is the message of Krishna. A message of the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada is not using words Krishna because this first canto Srila Prabhupada has compiled before establishing ISKCON. So the language is different than the other cantos. It's more British language and more, big terms to understand. So now the two lines are clear. If we are not attracted towards the message of Supreme Lord, and we only perform our occupational duties, this is just a simply waste of time and energy. Right? Now see the translation. The occupational activities, and this word Chakravarti Pad says Varna Ashram Dharma. He says immediately Varna Ashram Dharma. A man perform according to his own position means Brahman, Kshatri, Vaishya, or Shudra. So much useless labor, Sharamevi Kevalam, if they do not provoke, what is the meaning of provoke, by the way? You have anger inside. I have to provoke. You understand? I behave in the way that I provoke. It means anger is already there. So love of God is also there. And so that which provoke love of God, it means which make love of God to manifest. So provoke for the message of personality. Provoke attraction, which means rati. For the message of God means Bhagwat Gita or Srimad Bhagvatam. Is it okay? Now Srila Prabhupada's purport, quickly we see because it is a lengthy purport. First, Srila Prabhupada writes there are different type of occupational duties for the Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. And then Prabhupada simply speaks two categories of people first. Generally speaking, three categories of people. Gross materialists, which means karmis. Then he speaks of the mental speculators, are using the mental faculty. And then he is speaking of those who want to know the function of the soul. So he speaks these three levels. So first level he says, gross materialists, they know only body. And body is made of senses. So their whole object is sense gratification. And now Srila Prabhupada described there are two types of self-gratification. One is self-centered and other is extended. So self-centered is for the animals. Animal only satisfies oneself. Expanded sense gratification is family. Prabhupada is family, community, society, nation and the world. But they are all also based on bodily comfort. So in other words, there are people who are only self-centered. They are not better than animal. They are not better than animal. Because this is animalistic propensity to satisfy one's own body. At least you should think of society. Then he is human being. Right? But still, even you think of all these things, you are just focusing on the body and needs comforts of the body. In other places, Prabhupada writes, even politicians, you vote for them who give you the promise to give the more facilities. I was in Mauritius, and somebody was saying, our Prime Minister, he promised that in every house there will be television. And they are happy, and they said, yes, we got now. It was not available early. So these are the type of comforts people want. They are grossly materialistic. Now next line says, above these gross materialists are mental speculators. And then Prabhupada used the British English, mental, the word used here. What they are doing is mental sphere, and their occupational duties involve making poetry, philosophy, propagating some type of isms, nationalism, socialism. So they are higher than gross materialists. Now Prabhupada writes this, but still they are focused on body and mind. First is focused on only body, their body and mind, but this is also material. Now Prabhupada writes last line. But above the body and mind is the dormant spirit. Dormant spirit means like in a seed there is a dormant tree. Seed, whole tree is in this. So dormant in this body and mind is soul. But nobody knows this. Nobody think of tree in the seed, right? You have so many seeds in your house and kitchen. Have you ever thought of tree? No. Mustard seed is there, but you never thought of mustard tree. So we have this body, we never thought of soul. So it is dormant. It is dormant means most people are ignorant of that. And whose absence from the body makes the whole range of bodily and mental selfishness completely null and void. If there is no soul, what is the meaning of the body and mind? Their activities are useless. So now Prabhupada is coming. But less intelligent people have no information of the needs of the spirit soul. So the whole purpose is focused on needs of the spirit soul. And you will get this answer of the needs of the spirit soul down the purport. See, therefore we have to engage ourselves in our occupational duties that will evoke our divine consciousness. This is possible only by hearing and chanting of the divine activities of the Lord. Can you see it now? This is the need of the soul, Prabhupada writes. So, need of the soul, Srila Prabhupada writes, the soul's need must be fulfilled. What are soul's needs? Basically, soul's need activity, because it is active by nature. And the constitution of soul is Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. and therefore he should act in that relationship. And for that, to re-establish the forgotten relationship, he has to practice hearing, chanting and hearing. That's what Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport. So you see, but Srila Prabhupada wrote here very lofty language. You can see this. I'm just reading, if you can make some clue of that. The need of the spirit soul is that. Can you see this line? Need of the spirit soul. The need of the spirit soul, second paragraph, okay, is that he wants to get out of the limited sphere of material bondage and fulfill his desire for complete freedom. He wants to get out of the covered walls of the greater universe. He wants to see the free light and the spirit. That complete freedom is achieved when he meets the complete spirit, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is a grass barrier. That is dormant affection of the Personality of Godhead. There is a dormant affection for the God within the everyone. The spiritual existence is manifested through the grass and body and mind in the form of perverted affection for grass and subtle matter. Therefore, we have to engage ourselves in occupational engagement that will evoke our divine consciousness. This is possible only by hearing and chanting of the divine activity of Supreme Lord, and any occupational duty which does not help one to achieve attachment for the hearing and chanting. The transcendental message of the Godhead is said herein to be simply waste of time. Can you make anything out of this? Independent, free, spirit, light. Can you see this is the language Srila Prabhupada has used? What he wants actually. What he wanted to say is, every soul wants to be free from repeated birth and death. He wants to go beyond this material world, which has a covering, and it is dark. Material death, but so where he want to go? Nata bhasyate suryo nata shako na pavaka. He want to go where everything is light, because that is the abode of the Supreme Lord, where he can see the Supreme Lord. So that's what this is actually in a terminology. Srila Prabhupada, after establishing ISKCON, this is the way he will write. But this he has written something, what was prevalent at that time in the language and words. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has a similar type of writing. Can you see this? So this is the message is this. Is it clear? Now, Chakravarti Pad has asked this question. Why is dharma in the form of varna ashram not considered the parodharma? This is Chakravarti Pad's commentary. Why varna ashram is not parodharma? Because varna ashram you do only karma, activity. And karma only leads to the Pitralok. First, only verse says Pitralok. And at the most to the heaven. And they are temporary. Therefore, it is not a parodharma. Therefore, it is not a param dharma. So he has quoted some verses towards that end. And then he explained what is yadi means. So now we are going to the second verse, okay? But quite lengthy purport by Chakravarti Pad. Okay, next verse. You want to see this also? Even Jiva Goswami has a purport on this verse in his Karma Sandar. Well, just read this. If dharma, by not taking support of Vasudeva, which means Vasudev Bhakti. The verse number next verse number 7. If dharma by not taking support of Vasudev does not produce taste for the description of the Lord's pastime, Kathasu. Lord's pastime, meaning of Katha. It will not produce result, Sharmaha. This is stated because taste for the Lord's topic is best. Taste for Lord's topic is best. You don't have this, no? You can connect with this, then it can be done. You want to really listen to this, or we can just continue further?
As you please.
I don't know what is your desire.
Whatever you will.
Continue. Okay. Going to the next verse. Okay, here's the next verse. Dharmasya hi apavargasya naratho arthaya upapadyate narthasya dharmantasya एकांतस्य कामो लाभाय हि स्मृतः धर्मस्य हि अपवर्गस्य नार्थो अर्थाय उपकल्पते नार्थस्य धर्म एकांतस्य कामो लाभाय हि स्मृतः. Now upcoming 2-3 verses, there are 4 words in a Vedic literature: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So generally if we look dharma, it means practice religiosity. Why? Artha, to get some wealth. Why? Kama, to enjoy senses. Where is moksha? So the meaning of these words given by Bhagwatam is dharmasya hi apavarga. Apavarga means liberation. So there is a pavarga and there is a apavarga. You all know what is pavarga? Pa pa ba ba ma. Hard labor, then the foam coming from the mouth, then fear, then whereat everything is gone and ultimately mrityu. That's called pavarga. Apavarga is opposite to that, which means liberation. So dharma is for liberation, not for artha. The purpose of the dharma is to be liberated from material bondage. It is not for economical development. Now I am asking you a question. So many people are going to the temple every day, to the satsang every day, even to the mosque or to the church. What is their purpose? Are they going for liberation? To get some monetary or health or some benefit? Nobody is going for liberation, right? So their practice of dharma is not for that purpose. Therefore, na artho arthaya upakalpate. If you have actually wealth, it's not going to give you happiness. Artha upakalpate, the word to word meaning you see. Srila Prabhupada, upwork means ultimate liberation, Prabhupada writes. Arth means end. Arthaya means for material gain. Upkalpate means is meant for. It means dharma is not meant for economical development. It is meant for liberation. That's what the meaning of the first 2 lines. Is it okay? Na arthasya dharma ekantasya. Now what is the meaning of this? Next line says, neither arthasya of the material gain, dharma eka antasya for one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational duty. It means whatever occupational duty one is engaged, his goal is not economical development. Whatever work you are doing as a IT engineer or doctor or businessman, the purpose is not economical development. Purpose is liberation. So what do you think? How many people have this goal in their mind when they are practicing their occupational duties? Nobody practically. Right? Kamo labhaya hi samrtaha. Kamo means sense gratification. So we think because we get wealth, then we will enjoy. Now I give you the very simple explanation of these words. Dharma is for liberation, not for earth. Earth is not for calm, for enjoyment, but earth is for dharma. If you have wealth, you use it for dharma, for the religious purpose. Build temple, print books, distribute prasad. That is the use of your economical development. Not a sense gratification, calm, no calm. Then why calm? Next verse will say, Kam Jivan Nirvaha. As much as you need the things by which you can maintain your body and soul together. Jivan Nirvaha means for living. Why living? Why Jivan Nirvaha? The answer is Tattva Jigyasa. This is the continuity of the verse. Why we are living? For Tattva Jigyasa. It means to know the essence. And Jigyasa means to inquire about the Tattva. And what is the Tattva? Next verse says, Tattva is Jnanam Advayam. That Tattva is a non-dual knowledge which is realized as a Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaniti. So this verse will end this section. Now is it clear what dharma is for? Liberation, not for economical development. Economical development is not for sense enjoyment, but it is for dharma. Sense enjoyment is simply to keep body and soul together. Why we live? We live for Tattva Jigyasa. And what is the Tattva? Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So Brahma is for Jnanis, Paramatma is for Yogis, and Bhagavan is for devotees. Same Tattva, but it has a different realization. Now if you see the four things, Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha, Brahma cannot give this. Brahma cannot give this because it is effulgence. It has no variety. It will not give. Brahma will not give. Paramatma will not give. Because Paramatma is only in the material world. There is no existence of Paramatma in the spiritual world. So Paramatma will not give Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha. Only Bhagavan can give. So this is the purport by Chakravarti that Brahma will not give this. Paramatma will not give this. Now see the meaning of this verse by Srila Prabhupada. All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. Dharma apvargasya. They should never be performed for material gain. Arthaya artho upakalpate. Furthermore, according to the sages, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. He should use this for religious activities, is implied. Sages say, if you want really to reach the ultimate goal, love of God, then whatever you earn, you should not use it for sense gratification. You use it for furthering the cause of your goal. Is it clear? So I think this is something we meditate on ourselves. What are we doing? Our work, wherever we are, do we have this goal in our mind? Dharmasya, apvargas as our goal. Are we using the economical development for sense gratification or for self-realization? These are two questions right now for us to answer ourselves. No need to say anybody. That's what these verses say. Now, Chakravarti Pad writes, material results are not suitable as the goal for a person dedicated to higher spiritual goal, which means liberation. Attainment of material asset is not the desire of the person who is dedicated to the higher path. Now, Srila Prabhupada's purport. We have already discussed that pure devotional service to the Lord is automatically followed by perfect knowledge and detachment from the material existence. Prabhupada said, we have already discussed, it means in verse number 7, where it says Vasudev Bhakti Projit Jnana Vairagya in that. So here to understand this is like this. Jnana and Vairagya are not going to give rise bhakti. But bhakti has a byproduct jnana and vairagya. Therefore, the unaligned devotional service is free from anya bilashita sunyam jnana karamadi anavartam. So jnana and vairagya and everything, it is free from that. So which type of jnana it is free? And which type of vairagya? That jnana which leads to the merging in the Brahm, we don't need. But then that knowledge of Bhagwat Gita, by which we learn how to serve God, we need. Which karma we should give up? That karma which leads us to the heaven, we should give up. But worshipping the deity, cooking the prasad, we should continue. We should not give up. So which karma we should give up and which jnana we should give up? So this jnana and karma is out of bhakti. So Srila Prabhupada said, already we have discussed this. But there are others who consider that all kinds of different occupational engagement, including those of religion, are meant for material gain. Common people says all religious activities for material gain. This is some people say, Prabhupada said, and this is what people, not all people say. Maybe at Prabhupada's time some people were saying, but now all people are saying, we need material gain. We do little puja for getting something. They say, कुत्ता देके हाथी मांगते हैं. You know what it means? कुत्ता देके हाथी मांगने का मतलब 5 रुपया देके 5 करोड़ मांगना. They put 5 rupees in a pranami and ask, our tender should pass, my dear Lord. That's what the whole dharma is. And even they say like more than that. If my son this time get selected in a medical college at IIT, I will offer 100 rupees. If not, I will not offer. The conditioning. If it happens, then. This is what Prabhupada says. They say like this. The dharma is for material benefit. So getting wife, getting children, getting education, getting wealth. This is not the purpose of dharma. Now, Prabhupada writes further. General tendency of any ordinary man is in any part of the world is to gain some material profit in exchange for religious or any other occupational service. Even in the Vedic literature, for all sort of religious performance, an allurement of material gain is offered. And the most people are attracted by such allurement or blessing of religiosity. This is a Karmakand section of the Vedas. Perform this yajna, get this benefit. And this is Vyasadev's despondency. Vyasadeva was despondent because after even dividing one Veda into the four, and after that seeing Kali Yuga is horrible, people will not be able to read Vedas, he gave Upanishad, said it's not possible for them. Okay, I write Puranas. He wrote 17 Puranas. Oh no, even the workers cannot read this. Okay, Mahabharata, Vedanta Sutra, he was not satisfied. So Devrishi Narad, what he said, in all your Vedas you have written what Srila Prabhupada is writing here. That in the Vedas you have written, do this yajna, get this benefit. So all the things we have only allurements. And this allurement is, and not what you have not given actually is the kathasu. You have not given katha, pastime of the Supreme Lord. His name, form, qualities, pastime, abode you have not described in one place. This is the defect in your scripture. And therefore you sit in meditation and write Bhagwatam to rectify your despondency. I have a good joke about this type of literature or this type of people who say, do all these religious study for economical gain, but there is no essence of the original goal, love of God. One person went to the restaurant and he asked what type of vegetable sabzi he has. He said, I have pumpkin and grapes. He said, how much? Say 50-50. They bring one plate of pumpkin and grapes, and there was only pumpkin. He said, what is this? Cheating. You said 50-50. Yes, yes. One pumpkin and one grape. Now what you will get? Only pumpkin. Right? So, Ved Vyasa, all literature is pumpkin and grape sabzi. Everywhere there is a pumpkin, hardly you can see grape. Like in whole Mahabharata, which is 100,000 verses, 700 verses are only the grape. When you will find that? In 100,000. So this is what Prabhupada is speaking from, where he is writing this. From statement of Narad to Vyasadeva. This is what Narad told to Vyasadeva. So Prabhupada is writing this from that dialogue. Okay. Why are such so-called men of religion allured by material gain? Because material gain can enable one to fulfill desires. It means artha for kam. So they go like as it is written, dharam artha kam. Okay? Okay. Which in turn satisfies sense gratification. So desire means enjoying the senses. Now this cycle of occupational engagement, including so-called religiosity, followed by general way of all sorts of fully occupied men. Of material gain followed by fulfillment of desire. Sense gratification is the general way for all sort of fully occupied men. So this is what is going on. People are pious, they go to the temple, they want material gain and they want to enjoy. That is what is going on. But in the statement of Sutta Goswami, as per the verdict of Srimad Bhagvatam, This is nullified by the present slope. Because the economical development is not for enjoyment. Religiosity is not for this, so it means this is nullified by the present slope. One should not engage himself in any sort of occupational service for material gain only, nor should material gain be utilized for sense gratification. How material gain should be utilized is described as follows. Next verse. Now Chakravarti Pad has written little, I think, quite lengthy purport, more than one page, but I can read one line at least. Dharma in this verse refers to control of mind and senses. Now what Chakravarti Pad is saying, for Jnanis, Dharma means to control the mind and senses, Shama and Dhamma. Then he says, this is for Jnana, and Yam and Name for yogis. So Dharma of the yogis is Yam and Name, and Dharma of the Jnanis is Sham and Dham. Then he says, and the Dharma of devotee is hearing and chanting. So he said, this is said the open-mindedness of a commentator. That if you are jnani, then for you the dharma is control the mind and senses, Sham and Dham. If you are yogi, your dharma is say Yam and Nam. Yam means don't do, Nam means do. Do's and don'ts. And if you are devotee, your dharma is hearing and chanting. And other devotional processes. Though material results appear by executing all these processes, they are not suitable as a goal. Arthaya na kalpate. Because this dharma, if you follow, there is a material gain. But that is not the goal. There is material gain. That is not the goal. Arthaya na kalpate. For after examining the nature of the material gain, one becomes detached from it. After all, we enjoy for some time. I should not say it. In early days, prasad in ISKCON was pure, made with ghee. All ingredients were first class. And Mahaprasad plates were always from the altar going for the sannyasis. So everybody was trying to be sannyasi. Prabhupada, give me sannyasi. But that's why he said, I will get a Mahaprasad plate. True, Prabhupada. Somebody said to Prabhupada like that. But after 20 years, we see all the sannyasis are on boiled vegetables and soup, right? Because you have to be detached. You cannot enjoy for a long time, right? It's just natural. After some time, you have to give up. So this is natural that you have to give up enjoyment. You cannot continue it. That is indicated in the text by the word apvargasya. Ultimately, you have to think of liberation if you are intelligent. Okay, apvarga, everybody knows. Then he has quoted a one verse, and then he says, apvarga here for devotee means apvarga is liberation for jnani and yogi, but prema bhakti is for devotee. That the meaning of upwork for jnani and yogi is liberation, but for the devotee is prema bhakti. Yatha word vidhan, this is one verse quoted. In fourth verse, the many destinations, heavenly, human and hellish, are prescribed to all people, because people take birth according to actions in Sattva, Rajo and Tamo. Sattva go to the heaven, Rajo on this planet, Tamo to the lower. Adhoga, this is Adhoga Chanti, Tamasa, Sattva, this is Bhagwat Gita verse. Some other verses are quoted. Going to the next verse. At least we should finish this section. So much lengthy purpose I have to scroll. Krishna. Okay. Okay, now the next verse. What happened? Hare Krishna. Verse 9 we have finished? 10 we finished? Oh, this is already reached to 11. I have to go to the 10. Oh, verse 10. Okay, here it is. Kamasya na indriya priter lobha jiveta yavata labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jigyasa नार्थो यश्चेह कर्मभिः कर्मस्य न इंद्रिय प्रीति. If we perform the activities, kamasya na indriya priti. Kamasya is a purpose of desire. Na indriya priti. It's not for satisfaction for the soul, for the senses. Calm is not for the satisfaction of the senses. Labho jiveta yavata. It is only for labho jiveta means for living. Your desire should be enough to keep living peacefully, keeping body and soul together. So this word yavat, as much so much so, jivasya of the living being, self-perseverance. Self-perseverance, what is the word used for? Tattva, Tattva jigyasa, right? Jiveta, self-perseveration. What is the meaning? For what? Perseverance. Preservation. Preservation. Preservation here means keeping the life going on, not enjoying. First is priti and second is word jivasya, jiveta, just for living, not for enjoying, for living peacefully. So what is the sharp demarcation of living and enjoying? That's also different for different people. Sadhu can have his head as a pillow and a torn cloth in the street, and any food he gets, he is happy. That is his life. Rich man has a different demands. Therefore, this is variable for the very different people. But at least there should be some limit. Once somebody said, okay, for my living, say I need say 20,000 per month for me, okay? If I get some time heart attack for bypass, I need 5 lakh more. Okay? Then somehow in my old age by maintenance, okay, you need 100,000, say 1 crore, okay, keep it. But that's the end. There's no end. There's no end. So there must be some limit for everybody's different maintenance. Okay? Brahmachari's maintenance is different than Grihastha's maintenance. Vanpan's maintenance is different than and sannyasi's maintenance is different. But at least it should be some limit. So now the translation you see. Life's desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. I desire to enjoy my senses, no. I desire to live. So this is one saying. I eat to live. The other says, I live to eat. This is the difference between this. You can translate this in like this. The wise people eat to live, and greedy people live to eat. Bhungshva, eat. Ma daya karo, don't be merciful. Par dhanam durlabham, somebody else's food is very difficult to get. Sariram puna puna, you will get body again. What is the problem? This is the one Sanskrit verse which says, eat as much as you can of the other's property. Because it's very difficult to get the free food. But this body you can get again and again. What is the problem? This is the language used here. But we should do this. I don't want to eat anybody's things. I don't want to get body again. I will simply fast, but I will not really go for repeated birth and death. That is the meaning of these two phrases. Srila Prabhupada writes, one should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation. Healthy life or self-preservation. Since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth, tattva jigyasa, nothing else should be the goal of one's works. Same varnashram. The goal of varnashram is not to earn and enjoy, but to just live, to know and inquire about absolute truth. Now, Chakravarti is making it more clear. For one who desires upward, means liberation, sense pleasure attained from enjoying sense object is not the goal as long as he lives. I am just speaking one more word from Bhagwat Gita. And this verse, usually I say, Sukha ka sadhana, dukha ka karana. The word sukha, this is sukha ka sadhana. How one can be happy. This verse is Shaknoti yah shodum prak sarir vimokshanat. Kam krodha udbhavam vegam sa yukta sa sukhi nara. Anybody has that? These words are familiar to you? This verse is from 5th chapter of Bhagwat Gita. Verse number most probably 22 or 23. What it says, Shaknoti, it means if you are able to do. Yah shodum means you are able to tolerate. If you are able to tolerate, prak sarir vimokshanat, it means before you give up this material body. It means as long as you live. If you are able to tolerate what? Kam, krodh, udbhavam, vegam. Those waves which are arising from the desires and anger. Desire and anger are the, desire is the elder brother and anger is the younger brother. It follows. It's called, the name of the anger in Sanskrit is Kamanuj. Kamanuj. It is one who is behind or younger than desire. We have to follow the path of Ramanuj, means Lakshman, not Kamanuj. So as long as one is able to tolerate, as long as he lives, he should tolerate the desires and anger. Then he is really happy. Sayukta sasukhi nara. Then he is connected with Krishna and he is happy. So, it means as long as we live, if we want liberation, we should not use our desire for enjoyment, but we simply tolerate. Tolerate, why the word used tolerate there? because everybody has a tendency to enjoy. So tolerance is most important. And sadhu's lakshan is titikshva, which means tolerance. Sadhu is one which tolerates the demands of the senses. Demand of the senses are like itching. If you itch more, it only gives more suffering, pain and blood. By satisfying desire, they will never end. Like putting the petrol in the fire, fire will never extinguish. Very simple. These examples are given here. No petrol, they say ghee. The ghee is not available, only petrol is available now for the people to put on fire. Okay? Now, the goal of life is to inquiry into the highest truth. What is accomplished by the prescribed duties is not the goal. So same first line, Dharma Swanistita is continuing throughout. Now Srila Prabhupada's purport. This purport is almost one page. Now, the complete bewildered material civilization is wrongly directed towards the fulfillment of desires and sense gratification. In such civilization and all spheres of life, the ultimate end is sense gratification. In politics, social service, altruism, philanthropy, and ultimately in religion or even in salvation, it means karmis and jnanis. The very same tint of sense gratification is ever increasingly prominent. So Srila Prabhupada is writing, everybody is simply gearing towards sense gratification, whatever state of life he is in. In the political field, this is Prabhupada, the leader promised something, why already I told you. You give me sense gratification, I will give you vote. That's what Prabhupada is written. And if they don't satisfy their demands, they dethrone them. No vote, get out. And other fields, same thing. Same is applicable in all other fields. No one is serious about the problem of life. What is the problem of life? Janam mrityu jara vyadhi. That's the problem of life. Nobody is serious about that. Even those who are on the path of salvation desire to become one with absolute truth and desire to command spiritual suicide for sense gratification. And Prabhupada writes, these jnanis, they have a desire. When Srila Prabhupada is writing this verse from Chaitanya Charitaamrita is in his mind. Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Sakale, Ashanta. Bhukti means karmis, Mukti means jnanis, Siddhi means yogis. They are all unsatisfied. Why? Because they have material desires. Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Ateva Shant. Because the devotee of Krishna has no selfish desire. His desires are dovetailed with Krishna. Therefore, he is completely peaceful. So, Srila Prabhupada is writing this. Hare Krishna. But the Bhagwatam says that one should not live for sense gratification. One should satisfy the senses only in so much as required for self-preservation and not for sense gratification. Because the body is made of senses, which also requires certain amount of satisfaction, and there are regulative directions for satisfaction of such senses. For the senses are not meant for unrestricted enjoyment. For example, marriage or combination of man and woman is necessary for progeny, but is not meant for sense enjoyment. What do you think? Marriage is for progeny, to continue the parampara, not for sense gratification. In the absence of voluntary restraint, there is propaganda for family planning. But foolish men do not know the family planning is automatically executed as soon as there is a search after the absolute truth. The seekers of the absolute truth are never allured by unnecessary engagement in sense gratification. Because the serious student seeking absolute truth are always overwhelmed with the work of researching the truth. In every sphere of life, therefore, the ultimate end must be seeking after the absolute truth. And that sort of engagement will make one happy because he will be less engaged in varieties of sense gratification. And what that absolute truth is explained as follows. So now what practically we should gain from this. Pleasure of the senses, indriya tripti, arising from enjoying sense object is not the goal of life. Labha. Rather, as long as we live, yavat jiveta, one should work for fulfillment of the life of work. The pleasure of the senses from the enjoyment of the jnanis and yogis consisting of secondary results that appear along with the desired results is designated as a result of the action, since jnana and yoga are transformation of nishkama karma. When we do nishkama karma, it leads to jnana, and when we advance in jnana, it leads to yoga. Therefore, its element is the karma. So karma is never giving happiness. When karma is not giving happiness, its result will not give happiness. So that's what point is made here. But bhakti, there is a suffering. Then verse quoted is very serious verse, which Prabhupada realized. This verse is Yasyam anugraha harishya tat dhanam shnahi. If I am merciful on somebody and I think he is mine, I take away all his wealth. And the people will then abandon him, and then he will only come to me. That's Prabhupada realized this. This is this statement of the Lord into consider according to the particular case is not for everybody. Okay, now the last verse of this section, verse 11. Vadanti tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. Vadanti means say. Tattva vidas means those who know tattva. Those who know the absolute truth, they say tattvam, and that tattvam, that absolute truth is jnanam advayam. Then this word to word meaning for jnanam advayam is knowledge, non-dual knowledge. Non-dual knowledge. What is that? Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. By these three words. Knower of the truth called this truth Advaya Jnanam, the supreme conscious being. Advaya Jnanam is supreme conscious being, who is called Brahma by Jnanis, Paramatma by yogis, and Bhagavan by devotees. Chakravarti Pada has written the translation simply like this. So, this absolute consciousness is Brahma for Jnanis, Paramatma for yogis, and Bhagavan for devotees. Srila Prabhupada's purport, also the small purport. Absolute truth is both subject and object, which means Vishay and Ashraya. Subject and object is Ashraya and Vishay. Subject and object. And there is no qualitative difference there, and there is no difference between the two. Therefore, Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan are qualitatively one and the same. Qualitatively, not quantitatively. Qualitatively one and same. The same substance is related as impersonal Brahma by the student of Upanishad, as localized Paramatma by the Hiranyagarbhas or the yogis, and Bhagavan by the devotees. In other words, Bhagavan or personality of Godhead is the last word of the absolute truth. Paramatma is partial representation of the absolute truth. And impersonal Brahma is glowing effulgence of personality, as the sun rays to the sun god. Which is easy of the three to understand? My question to you. Brahma, Paramatma or Bhagavan? How and why? To connect with personal easy means Bhagavan is easy, you are saying, huh? Okay. You are saying but Bhagavan is difficult.
Bhagavan is easy because other systems we need to do our own endeavor. It is very difficult because we have our.
Now this example, you remember this example. Prabhupada gives this example. Sunlight, sun globe and sun god. Sunlight is Brahma, sun globe is Paramatma, sun god is Vivaswan. Now which is easy out of the three to believe? Sunlight. A child can say it is a day, right? Because there is sunlight. Except blind, everybody can say it is a day. So to know Brahma is very easy, like a sunlight. But to know Paramatma, or to know Paramatma means to see sun, globe. It means you get up early in the morning and see the rising sun, though sun is there. Here we are sitting maybe over 100 people. How many of you have seen sun? I have not seen it.
Early morning sun or raining sun, the waxing sun.
I mean, only 2-3 hands that particularly in olden days people used to, after they are giving some water to the sun, so they used to see sun. Now nobody is getting up early morning, nobody sees sun. Afternoon sun, nobody sees. Setting sun behind the building is not visible. So, Paramatma you can see as a super soul in your heart if you practice little yoga, yum name and other things, which is not possible. So you can see, but nobody has seen. It is there. And in the night you want to see sun, can you see? Whatever effort you make, no, you cannot see. If there are clouds, you cannot see sun. You have to see sun, then you go in the aeroplane above the clouds, then you can see sun, right? So it means there is a little difficulty in seeing the sun. But to believe in this burning sun globe, there is a person, Vivaswan. And he has a chariot, he has wife, he has children, and he learned Bhagwat Gita from Krishna. It's very difficult to believe, really. But really, it's not easy to believe. Only by the scriptural authority are the words of the sadhus you can believe this. Not otherwise. Is it right or wrong? Therefore, many people are not devotees of God. Many are yogis, Brahm, Brahm, Brahm. Light, light, light. And they sleep, they turn light off. Because you keep light on, you cannot sleep. So if you go to Brahm Jyoti where there's only big light, how will you sleep? Huh? And there's no Paramatma in the spiritual world. You go and search for Paramatma, there's no Paramatma. Again you will go to the Brahma. But to believe in Bhagavan is not easy. If you have faith in the scripture, and words of the sadhu, then you can believe Bhagwan, otherwise it's very difficult. It's not easy, really speaking. Because it is unseen, you cannot see that. You can see sun, you can see sunlight, you cannot you cannot see Vivaswan. Right? Now I'm saying how to believe. There's a prime minister of say our own country. Everybody knows his name. How many of you have seen him personally? Personally. One person says he has seen among all us. You need a qualification to see him. Not everybody can see him. And rarely you can see him from a distance. But it's not easy to see. But everybody has seen him in television and newspaper, right? And you believe that he is the Prime Minister of this country, right? You believe the Biden is President of America? You have seen him? You went to America? How you believe? Because you have read in newspaper and seen in television. It means in this world we have not seen so many people. We accept them on the authority of the newspaper. And what is the age of newspaper? Evening, 8 hours, right? Next day newspaper is useless. No? In a railway station, the train was stopped for half an hour. One person sitting before me, at 29th minute he rushed down and immediately purchased newspaper and came in. I said, why you did not go early? He said, I had that note which is completely glued together. Means useless currency. I said, can I see your paper? He said, see. And I saw it was the date was 5th and his newspaper of 1st date. He got the newspaper of 1st March and it was 5th March. So his usefulness newspaper of 1st. He wanted to cheat him with a wrong currency and he got a wrong newspaper. He wanted to cheat and he was cheated. So what I am saying is, this newspaper, what is the best place for the people to read newspaper? Lawn or toilet? Lawn, nobody has a lawn nowadays. Toilet, right? And you believe that. You accept that. And Bhagwatam is given by Vyasadeva and it says Krishna is God and you don't believe. See your position. You believe so many people based on newspaper which is useless, like anything, and you accept it. And this Bhagwatam is so precious and it says Krishna is God and very difficult to believe, right? And television says something we believe. But a person living, sitting and telling that Krishna is God, we don't believe. We believe television but not a person living. Are we wise? Intelligent? No. So what Srila Prabhupada is saying is, it is very difficult to believe God. God only reciprocate. No, Brahm will not reciprocate with you. Paramatma's upadrishta anumanta bharta bhokta meshwar. He simply see, witness, will not interfere in your life. Only Bhagavan can interfere personally. If you want to see Bhagavan, go and see the Pandavas. He can become chariot driver, he can do as a messenger, he can do anything, advisor. Which Bhagavan now you need? The one which reciprocate with you or one who simply watch you and witness you? Or the one which you cannot look at it because it's so glaring? Which you need actually? We need Bhagavan. And most of the people never even utter the word Bhagavan. They will say, Brahma, Satchidananda, Paramatma. So they will so many things, but never see Krishna. Never see Krishna because they are envious. Why God is enjoying? Why I am not enjoying? It means we are a competitor. That's our problem. Once Giriraj Maharaj, before he became devotee, he went to visit Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada looked at him. He said, "You want to become God or you want to serve God?" Giriraj Maharaj was stunned. How come Prabhupada see in my apartment over the wash basin there's a mirror, and on the mirror there's a sticker which says I am God? How can Prabhupada see that? And then Maharaj kept silent. Prabhupada said, if you want to become God, why should God have a competitor? Why should he give you intelligence to compete with him? If you want to serve God, then he will give you intelligence. So you want to serve God, or you want to become God? Serve God. So now we'll continue. Sun God, okay. Less intelligent student of the either of the above schools sometimes argue in favor of their own respective realization. But those who are perfect seers of the absolute truth knows well that above the three features of the absolute truth are different perspective, views seen from the different angle of vision. There's no need to fight. There are different levels for them to understand. Okay, next paragraph. As is explained in the first sloka of the first chapter of Srimad Bhagvatam, Supreme Truth is self-sufficient, cognizant and free from illusion of relativity. In the relative truth is self-sufficient. In the relative world, the knower is different from the known. I am knower. I know the computer. So computer is different from me. Now, but in the absolute truth, both the knower and the known are one and the same thing. Knower and known are one and same thing. Jnanam Geyam. This is the Bhagwat Gita. The 6 questions are asked by Krishna Arjuna. Purusha Prakriti Kshetra Kshetragya Jnana Geyam. So what is knowledge? And what is the object of knowledge? Where the Geyam is Paramatma or Supreme Lord. And Gey is the process to know God. But it's not separate from that. It's a process to know God. So there is no difference between knower and known in absolute sense. Like absolute mathematics is 1 plus 1 is equal to 1. 1 minus 1 is equal to 1. This is a spiritual mathematics. It's not 1 plus 1, 2, and 1 minus 1, 0, no. And this is based on which verse? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishuddhite. So complete whole, you take any complete, it remains complete, and the thing which you have taken is also complete. That is the meaning of absolute. So, in the relative world, the knower is the living spirit or superior energy, whereas the known is the inert matter or inferior energy. It means I know computer, I know table, I know this. So I am the living entity who knows, and I know the material object. Okay? Therefore, there is duality of inferior and superior energy. Superior energy is soul, inferior energy is matter. That's the difference between two. There are 3 kinds of energies of the supreme energetic. There's no difference between the energy and energetic, but there is a difference of quality of energy. The absolute realm, the living entities are of the same superior energy, but the material world is inferior energy. The living being in contact with inferior energy is illusion, thinking he belongs to the inferior energy. Therefore, there is the sense of relativity in the material world. In the absolute, there is no such sense of difference between the knower and known, and therefore everything is absolute. It's a very difficult language that Prabhupada has used. Superior energy is soul. So knower is a soul, and known is super soul. So they both are one qualitatively. Satchitanand. There's no difference between the two. It's not inferior. So Chakravarti Pad writes something. Gyaha. What is the highest truth? Tattvam. This verse explains it is Adivya Gyan, non-dual knowledge. And what is the Gyan? What is Gyan? It is called Brahm. What is the Gyan called Brahm? Is Gyan. According to them, it is without form, without distinction of the knower and known, a condition of consciousness alone. That is Brahma. This Gyan is called Paramatma by the yogis. This Gyan is Advaitam because of oneness between him and his Shaktis. Therefore it is Advait Gyan. What are the Shaktis? Jiva and Prakriti, both are his Shaktis. Because as the cause, he pervades the effect. Is the cause, he pervades the effect. He caused this material world, he entered into the material world as super soul. So he caused and he is pervades the effect. According to the yogis, the Paramatma is still pure Gyan. And for Bhakta, Paramatma is witness. Okay. Others conceive a personality of God as residing within the body in the region of heart, measuring 8 inches with the 4 hands. That's Paramatma. They realize him. But Vishnu Puran says Bhagavan is different than all these two. And then he says, Aishwarasya Samagrasya Virasya. He has 6 opulences. And then he says, Bhagavan can reciprocate with you and give you the result of your dharma, artha, kam and moksha. Paramatma and Brahm cannot give. Jnanis select the general form of the Lord qualified as Brahm. It says exactly word is here. This is for Bhakti Vaibhava students. This is also known by the attainment of Prem for the worshipper of Bhagavan. Worshipper of Bhagavan, the result is Prem. And in Gita it says about the tapasvi bhyodiko yogi, jnani bhyodiko yogi, tasmad yogi, bhavarajan yogi nam sarvesham. So ultimately, the one who is a lover of God is perfect yogi. And then it says, okay, we finished this much verses. What do you think? We end it here? Because the other verse is the next topic. And the next topic is, oh my God. Oh, the purport for this verse is almost 30 pages. The Sandarbha and Chaitanya Charitaamrita, and this verse is quoted in different places. So I have to go all the way down. Hare Krishna. So what we have learned today now, this is, we started with the Varna Ashram Dharma, and the goal of Varna Ashram Dharma should be to awaken love of God. And if it is not heading towards this goal, then all the efforts are useless labor. So in Varnashram Dharma, one performs the duties of the body, but he forgets the needs of the soul. So for needs of the body, there is a religiosity, economical development, and sense gratification. But for the soul, the need is liberation. The soul don't need sense enjoyment. Souls don't need economical development. Soul needs dharma and moksha. He wants dharmasya apavargasya. That is the goal of the soul. Goal of the body is economical development and sense enjoyment. So we are we are composite being. We have a body. We need economical development. We have body. We need sense gratification. And also we have a soul, which is our real identity, and its need are religiosity, which means dharma of the soul is to love and serve God. And the purpose of loving and serving God is to be liberated from the repeated birth and death. So this is the classification of all these verses. Now since we have body, so instead of accumulating economical wealth or benefit for sense gratification, it is better we should live for necessity of the life only and use the economical development towards understanding the absolute truth. And now what is absolute truth? Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So we are not interested in Brahma and Paramatma because there is only Sat and Chit aspect of the God. There is no Anand in that. Therefore our goal is to love and serve Bhagavan, and that includes Brahma and Paramatma realization in it, because it is complete absolute. And this love of God will give us vimukti, not mukti. Vimukti means vishesh mukti, a special type of liberation, association of the life. So that is the goal. And how we can get that? This is the next section. How we can develop taste for hearing Bhagwatam by serving the devotees. What is service to the devotee? To hear from the devotee. What should we hear? Shravatam Sokatha Krishna. What is the benefit? The heart is cleansed. It means we will be free from anartha. What is the best way for that? Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. So what is the result of that? The influence of the lower modes, mode of passion and ignorance, will disappear and we will be situated in mode of goodness. Then we will advance from mode of goodness to the Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. At that stage, three things will happen. The doubts are dissolved about the personality of Godhead and our relationship with Him. The Hridaya Granthi means the knot in the heart, which is false ego, smashes, finished. It becomes true ego that I belongs to Krishna. And three things, karmasya, finish all the reaction of the fruitive activities. Then we can see Supreme Lord, we can see ourselves, Atmane Ishware, and we can say the world. That is the full complete next section. It says like that. So now I ask you one question and then we end. How the people in Bangalore see things with what they see? They see through body. Which sense of the body? In night, when there is no light, can you see? If there is no sunrise, can you see? So we see by light through eyes. We see by light through eyes, right? Similarly, if you want to see the soul, You cannot see the soul. Like when sun rises, we see the sun, we see ourselves, and we see the world, the whole world around us. So when Krishna blessing, when he bestow his blessing, we can see Krishna, we can see ourselves, and we can see the world, and we can see the relationship of each other. So that is the attainment of the goal by following Bhagwat Dharma. And Srila Prabhupada spoke in New Vrindavan in this set of verses. Next set of verses, it's called Bhagwat Dharma series. So here continuous lectures on these verses from next which we start. So if you want really to relish, then you see the Prabhupada's lectures on these verses. Okay, thank you very much. Any question or comment? Oh, there is a, what is that?
Prabhuji, it was very, very enlightening, and thank you so much for giving us your darshan and vani.
Hare Krishna. Any question or comment? I think somebody was saying something. Oh, yes, ma'am.
So thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's very merciful upon you to come here and to address all these fallen souls to make us, give us this enlightenment. Thank you so much. So I have one question. That is, Jnani's object is Brahman, and Yogi's object is Paramatma, and Bhakta's object is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this Ashtanga Yogi is the process which Jnanis adopt to achieve their object. So then what is this term yogi? Yogi is generally used for all the yogas, right?
Actually, Srila Prabhupada writes yoga means bhakti yoga. All other yogas are the stepping stones towards that goal. So you have 4-story building. The ladder is called yoga. Those who are living on the first floor are called karma yogis. They are using the same stair. Those who are living on the second floor, they are called jnana yogis. Those who are living on the third floor, they are called jnana yogis. And those who are on the top floor, they are called bhakti yogis. They use the same stair, but they are on a different level. And the topmost yoga is bhakti yoga. So yoga is a stair, and different names of different levels of the yoga. And topmost is bhakti yoga. Prabhupada used to write, like the Mount Everest is the topmost, what's called peak of a mountain. Like bhakti yoga is topmost. Yoga means bhakti yoga, Prabhupada said. So the other are the stepping stone towards that yoga. And other way to say this, Prabhupada used to say, you can go by this is step by step. One, you go by stair to first floor, practice karma yoga, then you develop 2 things. One, you develop detachment, and second, you develop knowledge. Then you advance to Jnana Yoga. And Jnana Yoga, then you realize that I am soul, I am not this body, but there is a super soul. Then you are advancing to the Jnana Yoga. Now you want to see the super soul. So in Jnana Yoga, you see the super soul. Then you want to really reciprocate it with that. Then you go to the top floor in a Bhakti Yoga where you can reciprocate with that. But if you don't want to use the stair, there is also elevator. And you can go from down floor directly to the top. That is actually Bhakti Yoga. You have not to go by step, but you go directly in the elevator to the Bhakti Yoga. From any stage, anybody can start Bhakti Yoga. Hare Krishna.
Yes, one more doubt of Jnana and Vairagya will not lead to Bhakti, but Bhakti is the this thing.
Jnana and Vairagya are the result of Bhakti. They are the son of Bhakti.
But without Jnana and Vairagya, how we can do Bhakti?
That Jnana which leads to the impersonal feature of the God is not useful for Bhakti. That Vairag which makes our heart too hard to have the feeling for God is useless. Therefore it says, too much attached to the world is unfit for Bhakti. He is a candidate for Karma Yoga. Too much detached is also not fit for Bhakti. He is fit for Jnana Yoga. But the one who is not too attached, not too detached, he is fit for bhakti. This is the verse. Who is eligible for bhakti is not too attached, not too detached. Because you need, well, we have also, in bhakti we practice vairagya. That's called yukta vairagya. Yukta vairagya. Using useful things for Krishna, nothing for sense gratification. Everything is used for Krishna, so that's yukta vairagya, uchyate. So we practice yukta vairagya, not the phalgu vairagya.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Dandavad.
Prabhuji, whenever it is mentioned that the different forms of yoga, yoga means establishing a connection with the Supreme Power of God.
Right.
So you mean to say that Jnana Yogi, Bhakti Yogi, they won't be able to establish the connection with the Godhead?
With the Brahma and Paramatma level of the Godhead. With the Brahma aspect of the Godhead and Paramatma aspect of the Godhead, yes.
But still they will be able to establish the connection.
Yeah, they do.
Then why it is called the Arjuna Vishad Yoga, the first chapter? What is the meaning of that one?
It say that what Prabhuji said is yoga means a connection between the soul and God. It means which from the ground floor to the top floor, the connecting stair is called yoga. Then his question is, can yogis also have connection with God? Yes, with the Brahma aspect of the God. Dhyan yogi also have a relation with God? Yes, with the Paramatma aspect. Bhakti yogi has also a relation with God, but with Bhagwan, including both. Now his question is, Bhagwat Gita 18 chapters have no heading in Mahabharata. From chapter 25th to 43, I think. 18 chapters. Chapter 25, chapter 26 is like same like that. Then the Acharyas, they thought that Gita is Yoga Shastra. Gita is called Yoga Shastra, Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya, Yoga Shastra, Krishna Arjuna Samvada. This is the, so it's a Yoga Shastra. Because Krishna said, Arjuna, when he's saying, Imam Vivasvate Yogam, Proktam Aham Avyavam. So it's called Yoga Shastra. Because the whole book is yoga, therefore each chapter is given a name with word yoga. So first chapter, our Acharyas, Prabhupada has given setting the scene. He does not say yoga. But Chakravarti Pad writes, it has two parts. First chapter has two parts. First part, up till verse number 24 or so, is setting the scene. From verse 25 onward is Arjuna Vishad Yoga. Arjuna Vishad Yoga. Second chapter, our Acharya says, is summary of whole Gita. In a common name is called Sankhya Yoga. Because Krishna speaks, Idam Sankhya Yogam, Shrano me now, what's called Buddhi Yogam. So word Sankhya is taken from first section of the second chapter, from first section only, where there is the division of the body and soul. This analysis is Sankhya Yoga. So this is called Sankhya Yoga.
Right.
Third chapter is Karma Yoga. We say Karma, they say Karma. So there's a little different in the names of the chapters by the different acharyas. But everybody accept that Gita is a Yoga Shastra and Brahma Vidya. So every chapter has a word yoga added to it.
Right.
Jnana Yoga is fourth. Then the fifth chapter is Karma Sannyas Yoga. Karma Sannyas Yoga. Prabhupada says perfection of Karma Kand. Sixth chapter is Dhyana Yoga. Simple. Seventh chapter, different names. We have attaining the absolute, something like that. And they say Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Jnana Vijnana Yoga. So 8th chapter Moksha Yoga, something like that. 9th chapter Rajvidya Rajgoyam. 10th chapter Vibhuti Yoga, 11th Vishwarup Yoga, Darshan Yoga, 12th Bhakti Yoga, normal. Then their same names are more or less same. So this means even crying for Krishna is a yoga. Arjuna was in a Vishad and crying, Vishidantam Vidam Vakyam Vacha Madhusudan. Ashru Purana collection, he was crying. But crying for Krishna is yoga because it's connecting with Krishna.
Dhanyavad Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
In Mahabharata, there is no name of any chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Like you explained in your lecture that Bhagavan realization is a very, very difficult thing to realize. So, us as practitioners, like we have taken the first step towards that. So, what would be your advice to us, like for us to pursue this?
See, realization of God is not easy. What we are practitioners, we started we are the beginner in Bhakti Yoga is called Kanishta Adhikari. And Kanishta Adhikari has no much of faith and knowledge of the scripture. He is simply attached to the deity worship. Prabhupada writes, we have to advance from the neophytes to the at least Madhyam Adhikari. And Madhyam Adhikari has a good knowledge of the scripture. He has a firm faith in the scripture. He is engaged practically in service of the Lord. He serves the senior devotees. He makes friends with the equal devotees and become merciful to the new devotees and become indifferent to the non-devotees. That's called Madhyam Adhikari. So at least we should advance by reading and having more faith in scripture. Faith in scripture is actually criteria for advancing. It says Shraddha, Shastra Shraddha. Chaitanya says Shastra Shraddha, less Shraddha, pliable faith, Kanishta, neophyte. Strong faith, Madhyam. And one who loves God and who never finds fault with anybody, never criticize anybody. And he not only knows Shastra, but he can put argument and defeat the opponent is Uttam Adhikari. And we should try to associate with Uttam Adhikaris. And we should ourselves try to elevate to the Madhyam level. So this is what Prabhupada has said for the beginners to advance to the Madhyam. And for that we have to discuss scripture, therefore Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, they are all for our advancement to have a faith in scripture. And then we practically behave like that in our normal life. That's important.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.